women. So
Talk,
what
baby.
would you say?
I said women don't like dudes who got their own, who don't need them. They rather deal with men who are not that intellectually aggressive, who gonna let them say what they want and do what they want. They rather deal with a man like, not saying you like that, but most women out here don't want to deal with a man who gonna say, baby, nah, don't wear that. Nah, baby, don't talk like that. They don't really want to deal with that. They rather deal with a dude who let them say and do whatever they want to do. And they think if a man be a man, he's toxic.
So my question was, do you fuck with a real woman?
Let me answer that question.
And the reason why I asked
I'm
is
listening.
because if you fuck with a real woman, she's going to agree with you. Hey, maybe I shouldn't step outside wearing this,
I respect that,
this
baby. So
nasty ass shit.
Let me answer that. This is the problem. The real woman is standing too close to the hoes, so we don't know the difference until we start talking to y'all.
She ever loved you?
I don't think she ever loved me, because if she did, it wouldn't be that easy to leave. She just left me out the blue, filed for divorce, and don't love me enough to explain to me why. I got a 1-year-old who's now being raised under 2 different roofs, when my whole goal was to break that generational curse of so many divorces in my family. I never cheated, no physical domestic violence, no side chick. I respect life. I respect the highs and the lows of life. So many people want to pop champagne.
Art, and then they spent the next 2 years getting divorced. Apparently, it was an ugly situation. Now she's reflecting on that, and she has a little bit of regret. Take a listen.
If I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Women specifically, there will be moments where they'll be like, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. And we're just focusing on these things. You don't have a certain person in your life to check you and say, sis, what about this? What about this? What about these strengths? What about what he's not doing? That can get you thinking about the positive aspects of this person that you may not be thinking about when you're upset. In those moments, you need somebody to be the person for that person.
Now, obviously, this is not an overtly political podcast that you're listening to. It's probably not political at all, but it made me think about politics because I always speak about really what happens if you follow liberal ideologies, right? If you buy into feminism when you're young and it carries on for too long. And what she's talking about, I know exactly what climate she's speaking of. It is women when they get toxic and they are with one another and they think that their life is going to live forever, that they need to aspire to be by themselves, climb, the career ladder, that the aspiration shouldn't be family. It should be being bad all by yourself. You got it. You got money in the bank. You don't need no man. And these are the sorts of women that were in her tribe. I'm going to guess largely liberal women who were listening to the liberal messaging that's coming from the mainstream media. So rather than her working on her marriage, 3 years, she should be in the honeymoon phase. She was listening to her girlfriends who are making her feel empowered. She's in her 20s and basically telling her, you don't need a man. And of course, the difference between your life and your prospects from your 20s as a young woman, then when you turn the chapter and go into your 30s, it's dramatic. The differences are quite dramatic. And I try to explain this to the young women that listen to me. I get it. I was in my 20s too. You feel like every day is so long, you're going to be young forever, and you don't have to focus on those sorts of things. But 30 will smack you in the face. It's a different ballgame, totally different ballgame. And there's this call to settle down and to have a family. And now that she's in her early 30s, she's recognizing that she achieved that and then turned it down. Now, Tyrese Gibson saw this clip making the rounds and he responded to it. Take a listen to what he had to say.
And you packed up a 1-year-old, put a COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and I was literally in an airplane on my way home to fight for my marriage and my family. You're heartless.
So obviously...
So that's the video of when you go through that. Like, it is very heartening. Because on that first video, you could be a real woman, but your friends and family is going to influence you in a bad way. And when you end up like this is like a perfect example on how many marriages separated because of unappreciated peers, jealousy of your lifestyle. Come to the single bandwagon, single mum bandwagon. You have child support and government support. You don't need no man. I could own my own house without a man. This is where it becomes a problem with Australia Dream, because people can, take advantage and putting it on you. And said like, everyone can buy a house if family members give you daddy money to you to buy a house. But it's not about like power. When they have power, when they tasted power, it's very toxic. A man raises a family. It doesn't matter, is he a billionaire, millionaire, or whatever. His role is to raise a family, keep it safe, keep it protected, pass on their legacy, and build this on this kingdom. Doesn't matter what people comparison, or because he has, other family has 2 houses, 3 houses, 4 houses, Bentleys, Mercedes, you name it, all that. It's not about that at all.